of football games, and we'll start with this 2018 record breaker between Patrick Mahomes and the 9-1 Chiefs and Jared Goff's 9-1 Rams. Let's just say there were a few points scored in this one. That's 8 Eastern on ESPN and the app. The reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Patriots cornerback Stephon Gilmore, has confidence in Jarrett Stidham, Brady's likely replacement at quarterback. Gilmore says New England's 2019 fourth-round pick made him work harder in practice last season. Quote, he came in and worked hard and got better and better as the year went on. He has a strong arm. He makes some tough throws. Definitely made it hard on me in practice each and every week, going against whoever I was covering, making some great throws. It allowed me to get better in practice and to prepare for the games. 11-year veteran Brian Hoyer and Cody Kessler out of USC are also in the Patriots quarterback mix. On that note, we bring in our guy, Marcus Spears. Always good to see you, Marcus. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. Max Kellerman, this is coming right to you. Could Stidham be the replacement for Tom Brady?
Yes, he could. I mean, just as Tom Brady once upon a time was not a heralded quarterback who came in as a low draft pick. And no, it doesn't mean Stidham's the next Tom Brady. You know, you may have to wait a long time before you see the next Tom Brady anywhere. But can he be a good quarterback, good enough to win double digits with the Patriots? It's certainly possible. He beat Alabama in 2017. Well, listen, Stidham, if you go all the way back to high school, is one of the 2 best recruits in the country. And then in college had that promising 2017 where he, as I mentioned, beat Alabama and showed a strong arm and a quick release and all this stuff. Then in 18 he regressed, and that's why he slid in the draft. But preseason last year, he was just about as good as anybody. Recall, people were raving about him, and he hasn't really had a chance to play since then. So have we seen him hit great heights, like compared to his contemporaries? Yes. Did the Patriots think enough to grab him? Yes. Is he the front runner to take the job now, and they've passed on a lot of veteran quarterbacks? Yes. I mean, that means Belichick likes what he sees. Now, I still believe that if they have the chance to grab someone like Matthew Stafford, a guy a difference maker in terms of his talent, who, a high completion percentage kind of guy, strong arm and a veteran, sure, they could do it if the price is right for draft picks, whatever. But barring some move like that, I don't think, they didn't look at Teddy Bridgewater and say, okay, that's good enough. They clearly think that Stidham is at least as good as that, at least for the money. And Matt Castle is the guy. Everyone talks about Belichick. Well, he didn't really win. Look at his career record before he met Tom Brady. Stop. Look at his career record since he's been with the Patriots, or his Patriots record. He has more than twice as many wins as losses without Tom Brady. He's 13-6 since he became the Patriots GM and coach. So if he thinks Stidham is good enough for a 12-win to take over a 12-win team and still compete for the playoffs, then yeah, I think Stidham's probably good enough.
To be quite honest with you, this is one of those situations where I have to completely defer to Marcus Spears, my man Swagoo, because obviously doing an exceptional job with the SEC Network with Paul Feinbaum, Tim Tebow, and the crew. Y'all saw this guy, Jarrett Stidham. I didn't. I mean, the 2 years at Auburn, what was he, 10-4 and like 8-5? I know that in 2017, he completed 66% of his passes. Only threw 18 touchdowns each season, but he completed 66% of his passes. And then there's a 6% drop-off the next year at 60%. And obviously, Auburn didn't have the same record. Y'all know how I love Alabama. You know how I love Nick Saban. And I guess that if you're Bill Belichick with the great relationship you have with a Nick Saban, and by the way, it's must-see television to watch Belichick Saban, The Art of Coaching. I watched that this past weekend. It was a great program. I really enjoyed listening to the both of them. I suppose that if you're Bill Belichick, I can't imagine you just looked at Stidham yourself without talking to a guy like Saban who coached against him and didn't feel confident. So I guess your argument would suffice, Max. My thing is this. When you regress on the collegiate level, why the hell should I believe in you on a pro level? That's my deal. It wasn't like he had a new coaching staff because somebody was on, it was still there and what have you. I'm not sold on it, so I get it. He's no scrub. I'm not trying to disrespect him in any way, but am I sold that Stidham I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right, by the way. I don't even know. But I'll go with it. All I'm saying is, am I sold on this brother being the quarterback for the New England Patriots in the future for years to come? No, I'm not moved.
Yeah. Well, we have two things working in this conversation. First of all, back in 2000, when Tom Brady was drafted by New England, we didn't expect quarterbacks to play right away. That was the number one thing, especially when you get drafted in the 6th round. Being thrust into this position that New England has been, which I agree to Max's point, like it looks late in the succession plan to replace a guy for 20 years. It's not like you was going to bring anyone in there to say, hey, we just going to pick this thing up and keep rolling because of what Tom Brady has done for the last 20 years. But with that being said, Jarrett Stidham, a little history on Jarrett Stidham, Stephen A., and I appreciate you deferring to me. At Auburn, it was not the best system for him. Gus Malzahn was more of an RPO, more of an athletic quarterback. His system works better in that regard. Jarrett Stidham came in from a high-powered Big 12 team, Baylor, passing the ball, throwing it all over the yard, so he can push the ball downfield. He can throw the football in an elite manner. He did some athletic stuff against Alabama to win the game. The second part to this is, to Max's point, we don't know. We don't know what type of situation, first of all, Jarrett Stidham is going to be in. We don't know his ceiling because he hasn't worked with Josh McDaniels. He hasn't worked with this offensive team that New England has in order to get ready for a season. So to be sitting here today saying Jarrett Stidham is ready to take over, is ready to usher the New England Patriots into a 12-win season would be asinine of all of us because we don't know. But with that being said, a 6th-round draft pick did become, the greatest quarterback of all time while playing with the New England Patriots. So just wait and see.
Yeah, I don't think 12 games. I think if Tom Brady wins 12 games, guys, then Stidham, if he's the guy, is unlikely to win 12. There should be a fall-off, but you might win 10. We saw Mike Tomlin just go 8-8 with a lot less, and as great as Tomlin is, I consider Belichick even better than Tomlin, as everyone does. And so if Tomlin can do it, I'd expect Belichick to maybe challenge for double-digit wins and a playoff berth, even if it is Stidham. But Stephen A., the tip-off to me is Belichick didn't pull the trigger. And I know there's cap issues. You can figure out what to do there. He didn't pull the trigger on any of those mid-tier quarterbacks. You know, Bridgewater is the example for me. I thought they'd be interested in Bridgewater. He reminds me of Garoppolo or Brady in a way. Quick release, not making a lot of mistakes, game manager type guy and a winner. We've debated that. That to me was telling. When the Patriots didn't go in after any of that tier quarterback, that tells me they believe the guy they got basically replaces that. You're not getting extra value paying for something more. So if a Stafford is available, if someone like that, not Andy Dalton, but if a Stafford's available, I'll bet you they jump at that. But barring that, I think Stidham is the guy. I think that the Patriots believe in him. He wouldn't be on the roster. And they brought in a backup already.
And Max, to your point,
go ahead, Marcus.
Go ahead, Stephen A. Oh, why wouldn't you even take a flyer on Jameis Winston? No. Like, if you are not 100% sold, why wouldn't you? Like Belichick bringing him into the Patriot way, to that, Max, what you just said to me is paramount, because there is a quarterback, although he turned the ball over, and I know that's against everything that Bill Belichick wants to do, it's still Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Still he did that. Still, if Jarrett Stidham if this offensive staff can get Jarrett Stidham to playing well, why can't they get Jameis to playing well? So that point you just made is poignant with Jameis Winston sitting out there with no team and no job.
Well, first of all, I don't think it's that damn poignant. That's number one. Number two, and more importantly, what are y'all saying to me? What y'all saying is that there's a bunch of people out there he ain't sold on. That's why Stidham is there. That's entirely different than believing in Stidham. That's the difference. If I got a whole bunch of options and none of those options tickle my fancy per se, it doesn't move me, then how hard is it for me to stick with a dude that I drafted that spent the year under Tom Brady, that's in my system, familiar with it, was practicing with us all year last year? If I'm not sold on anybody on the outside, why the hell wouldn't I go with somebody on the inside? But that doesn't mean I'm sold on him. It means that there's nobody else out there that moves me.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
He did beat your favorite team, Stephen A., Alabama, the year they won the national championship. And let's not forget, there is this thing called the draft, and that takes place April 23rd. The Patriots could also pull the trigger then. Marcus Spears, thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you tomorrow. When we come back here on First Take, College Game Day's Reese Davis will join us on the possibility of no college football this fall. Plus, LeBron, AD, Kawhi, PG-13. You won't believe which duo was named the best in the NBA. Buckle up for that debate. It's First Take.